Hi, everybody. It is Wednesday, December 11th, and we are plowing along. Maureen's sister Heather just left for the airport to fly home to Tucson, and her girlfriend Leanna is with us until tomorrow afternoon. So she's still having a ball, and we had a great dinner last night with a whole bunch of friends. It was about 11 of us got together, and it was great for her just to be the belle of the ball down there at the restaurant. I'm going to do a little music now for you. This is somebody who I've done stuff in the past with, and I found another album that I had done with him. And so I thought I would share some of that and talk a bit more because the videos I did were quite a ways back. And this is one of the challenges of doing this. First off, I want to say thank you. Somebody signed up yesterday and bumped it up to over 250,000 subscribers on this. So it's amazing to me for something that started unintentionally that it's evolved into this. And I thank you all so very much for being a part of this little community that we've created here. Because to me, I mean, like I'm here, but to me, I'm sharing this with all of you. And it's really fun to come every day and think about something new to just to throw out at you, where people go, oh, I remember that, or I've never heard that, I'm going to go check it out, which is like the stuff that happened like with people like Jude Cole, where it's great when people write comments on there and go, I didn't even know about him, and I just ordered his album. I just, it's great to be on this journey of discovery because there's so much music out there, and it's hard to keep on top of it all. So this is Barry McGuire. Now, a lot of people, when they think of Barry McGuire, they go back to the 60s, and The Eve of Destruction was his massive hit for him. But I'm going to read some bio here, and then I'm going to talk about the album and play you a couple of songs on that. So Barry McGuire was born in October 15th, 1935, is an American singer-songwriter, primarily known for his 1965 hit Eve of Destruction. He was later a singer and songwriter of contemporary Christian music. McGuire was born in Oklahoma City. His family moved to California when he was 2 years old. After working as a commercial fisherman and a journeyman pipe fitter, McGuire began singing in a bar. In '61, he released his first single, The Tree, which was not a hit. McGuire formed a duo with Barry Kane, who passed in 2013, called Barry and Barry. They performed original folk songs at the Ice House, a small folk club in Pasadena, California, which is still around, before moving to the Troubadour in Hollywood in the spring of '62. And the Troubadour, of course, is where so many, from James Taylor to Elton John to you name it, that was the launching ground for so many. Certainly with James, that was the first gig I ever played with James, was at the Troubadour back in '70. They joined the folk group, the New Christy Minstrels, and McGuire sang lead vocals on the novelty single Three Wheels on My Wagon. McGuire and Kane continued to perform their duo act as well as playing with the New Christy Minstrels. With Horizon Records, they cut their first and only album as Barry and Barry, titled Here and Now, which contains songs such as Gold Wedding Ring, Land of Odin, Another Man, Summer's Over, You Know My Name, Bullgine Run, and Far Side of the Hill. It also included If I Had a Hammer, 3 months after the release of the song by the folk trio Peter, Paul, and Mary. In '63, McGuire, with Randy Sparks, the founder of the New Christy Minstrels, co-wrote and sang lead vocals on the band's first and biggest hit, Green Green. McGuire left the Christys in January '65 after recording the album Cowboys and Indians, although on the '65 album, Chim Chim Cheree, he sang the title Cut. Then it goes on about his solo career as a solo folk rock singer in the '60s. McGuire was best known for his hit Eve of Destruction and for Sins of a Family, both written by P.F. Sloan. McGuire's other chart successes were Child of Our Times and Cloudy Summer Afternoon Raindrops, written by Travis Edmondson of the '60s folk duo Bud and Travis. Eve of Destruction sold more than 1 million copies and was awarded a gold disc. The album Eve of Destruction peaked at number 37 on the Billboard 200 album chart during the week of September 25th, '65. That same week, the single went to number 1 on both Cashbox and Billboard Hot 100 charts and knocked Help by the Beatles from the top. According to Maguire, Eve of Destruction was recorded in one take on a Thursday morning from words scrawled on a crumbled piece of paper, and he received a call from the record company at 7 a.m. the following Monday telling him to turn on the radio. His song was playing. The recording included where Maguire could not read the words. Eve of Destruction was Maguire's only top 40 hit. Then it goes on and on and on. Maguire appeared in the 1967 movie The President's Analyst with James Coburn as the character Old Wrangler, the leader of a band which consisted of a Los Angeles group, Clear Light, who were between lead vocalists and Werewolves on Wheels in 1967. In 1968, he starred for a year on Broadway musical Hair. It's interesting, I didn't know about Clear Light. Clear Light is the group that, I believe, is the group that got Cooch to move from the East Coast to Los Angeles. They were looking for a guitar player, and he came and auditioned and got the gig with Clear Light. Maguire became a born-again Christian in 1971 after meeting evangelist Arthur Blessed in October of 1970. In 1973, he joined the Myrrh label and released the album Seeds. The album contained backing vocals by the family trio that would become to known as Second Chapter of Acts, who I did work with, and Buck Herring, who was kind of the patriarch. He was Annie's husband, was a great producer engineer. And the other album I did with Barry, he did. And also, he was who I worked with when we did I Am Woman with Helen Reddy and stuff. He had, his studio was Sun West Studios right near Sunset and Western in Hollywood. In 1974, Maguire released his second album, Jesus Music album, Lighten Up, which included a remake of Eve of Destruction. He toured with Second Chapter of Acts and a band called David, and in 1975, this collaborated effort resulted in a double live album, To the Bride. Let's see, later in life, I'm skipping through, there's a lot of stuff about him. Oh, interesting. I didn't know this. In the 1980s, after his final album, Pilgrim, Maguire left the music industry and settled for a time in New Zealand with his wife, Mary. He wrote music, performed, and hosted the videos of several years of Gospel Light Publishing's Vacation Bible School programs. Maguire returned to the United States in the 90s and teamed up with Terry Talbot, recording as Talbot Maguire. And that's, again, I did the Talbot Brothers albums, and I've worked with John and Terry both. This keeps coming back around. The duo released 4 albums between 1996 and 2000. In 1990, Maguire published the novel In the Midst of the Wolves, co-written with Logan White, which told the story of a group of bikers who came to know God. Maguire worked with the New Mamas and the Papas, 97 and 98. In 2000, he toured with Christian musician John Michael Talbot, who was half of the Talbot brothers. In 2006, Maguire undertook engagements which included songs and talks on the Mixture of Topics by Maguire and his wife. The Maguires resided in Fresno, California, but also spent a part of every year in New Zealand. It just goes on. In 2013, Maguire appeared in the documentary film The Bird Who Flew Alone, produced by Four Sons Productions. The film was about Gene Clark, one of the original Birds, who was a friend of Maguire's for many years. I remember going to the screening of that because they interviewed me talking about Gene, who I had done the album No Other with. So, I mean, it's just like, it's weird, I just keep finding out these things, and I realize how many people I've been in touch with through all these years. So that's it. So now I'm going to go back and let me get rid of that one. And I'm going to dig in to the album that I've got here. This album is from 1977, and it's called Have You Heard? And let me give you some credits on this. The strings were arranged by Jimmy Owens. I'm on bass. David Kemper is on drums. It was engineered by Randy Cox. The remix was Larry Emmerine, the remix engineer. Mike Dacey, who was part of the Wrecking Crew, and I had worked with him on many, many projects. He played guitar, dobro, mandolin, and sang. Fred Petrie on percussion. Richard Souther on piano. It was produced by Billy Ray Hearn, and the vocals on it were by Bill Thedford, Janny Grine, Catherine Ward, Matthew Ward, the Shirley Matthews singers, Terry Orlick and Terry Talbot. Now, Matthew Ward, Catherine Ward, those are the second chapter of Acts. We recorded this at Studio 55, and I think they did some at Quad Tech, I think was a studio. But let's go ahead and let me play you a couple of songs from this just to get in here. So this is a song called There Is a Peace. And I'm going to check and see if there's any other credit stuff for you on this one. Nope, that is it. So let's listen to some music. This is Barry McGuire.
Gone insane. People blowing out their brains, flying off of bridges, lying down in front of trains, shooting dope to cope. They laugh cause they can't take it, getting drunk, life always stunk. It's more than what they make it. Have you heard? There is a peace, the Prince of Peace, and he can ease our troubled mind. He came on shame, died for you and me. Now we come to him on bended knee. Meditation, mesmerized, enlightened to the times. Nothing's wrong, nothing's right. Relativity delight. Guilt you say is built on a concept someone gave you. You choose to lose your conscience, thinking somehow that can save you. Have you heard? There is a peace, the Prince of Peace, and he can ease our troubled mind. He came unashamed to die for you and me. Now we come to him on bended knee. There is a peace, the Prince of Peace, and he can ease our troubled mind. He came unashamed to die for you and me. Now we come to him on bended knee. We come to him on bended knee.
On all these tracks, I played Frankenstein on all of these. It's just been such a good workhorse all these years. There's an element. Let me get the writer on that. We need to get credits out here. That was written by Dennis McIntosh. Let's see what we got here. Let's see again. This one was written by Paul Field, and it's called Light of the World. So let me grab this one. Here we go, Barry McGuire.
Hold your head up, Mary. It's a dusty road, and you know that the wind's blowing wild. But there's a light in the darkness, and it's not far to go. And the morning will bring us a child, and the sky is gonna open for him. Yes, and all of nature will sing, singing, you are the light, the light of the world. You are the light, the light of the world. Yes, and we'll watch him grow, loving our eyes, also a color of crying. Oh yes, we know Mary one day he'll be saying goodbye, to take life to a world that is dying. Yeah, but all on the shores of the sea are the words of a Savior to me. You are the light of the world. You are the light, the light of the world. So the change comes quickly, time's flying fast. People in power turn betrayers. All the cruel and the evil living side by side, while the gentle and loving they murder. But for all where the cross has once stood, are these words are gone the road, saying you are the light, the light of the world. You are the light, the light of the world. You are the light, yeah, the light of the world. Singing, you are the light, yeah, the light of the world. Why you are the light, it's the light of the world.
Boy, they gave me some room. Wow. Wow, it's a trip. Wow. What do we got here? Have you heard Chubby Chubby? This is written by Mike Dacey, or Dacey, however they want to pronounce it. Here we go, one more here.
Once there was a chubby lad, his fleece was white as snow. The shepherd hollered, run, here comes the wolf, but he simply moved too slow. You know he was too fat to fly, but too fat to fly.
Barry's got to be what, about 89 now. So, but I've looked all the stuff, and it still lists him as around. You know, he's still at it. So this is good. I'll do one last song. This is called "Sometimes, Someplace." Let me get you a writer's credit on this one. Steve Chapman wrote this song. So here, and it's the same lineup with Barry singing lead, Mike Dacey on guitar, dobro, guitar, mandolin, vocals, me on bass, Richard Souther on piano, Jimmy Owens string arrangement, David Kemper on drums, Fred Petrie on percussion, and that same incredible group of singers with them: Bill Thedford, Janie Grine, Catherine Ward, Matthew Ward, the Shirley Matthews singers, Terry Orlick and Terry Talbot. This one was engineered by Randy Cox. It's got all that. So here we go. This is Sometime, Someplace.
Every day he laid down upon us. Then an if to give a warning, he'd point up to the sky. And every day and every evening, he'd go walking down the main street with a tear in his eye. And the sound of his voice, there was a grieving as he said, sometime, someplace, we're gonna meet him face to face. It may be morning, it may be night, whatever the time, we can be sure, everything, gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright, Now I was born among them who used to call him insane. I never did want to hear what he was saying. Then one day, just like old Vice, the good Lord called my name. Suddenly, I found myself praying. Oh yeah, down in the city square, there was a mighty crowd. And I suppose that I was down there praying mighty loud. Now, but when I rose, I pointed up to the sky. And down through the town there came a parade. The old man, the Lord, and I. And we sang, sometime, someplace, we're gonna meet him face to face. It may be morning, it may be night, whatever the time, we can be sure, everything, be alright, gonna be alright, gonna be alright, be alright, ooh, sometime, someplace, we're gonna meet him face to face. It may be morning, it may be night, whatever the time, we can be sure, everything, gonna be alright, it's 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 gonna be alright, we're alright, we're alright, gonna be
So Barry Maguire, Have You Heard is the album, not Have You Heard, but Have You Heard is the title of the album from 1977. Another piece of trivia on that, Mike Dacey, who played guitar, mandolin, and all that stuff in there, there was a movie with Dennis Weaver many, many years ago called Duel. He was just a guy driving his car, and a semi took him on as an adversary. And that's really just he in this truck for is the whole movie. And it's really an interesting kind of just dark, weird film. But when in the climactic scene where the truck ends up going over a cliff, and it's grinding away, making all the sounds. I think most of that was Mike Dacey's guitar, making the sounds of the truck being destroyed at the end of the movie. So, you do what you got to do when you get hired. So, can you come up with sound of a truck being destroyed? And he did. So. It's kind of like, watching the original Godzilla and you hear that sound that he makes. It sounds like a freight train. Well, it was actually a string bass being bowed right at the bridge and then slowed down. So it's a good use for a bass is to create the sound of Godzilla. So, okay, I am rambling on, so I'm going to get going. I got lots to do today. And I'm going to join Baz for his Clubhouse Zoom and say hi to everybody and like that. So I will talk to you later. Bye.